And welcome to John Crump Live, minus John Crump, but I'm alive, so we're good here. Yeah, I enjoy the intro myself. I'm not gonna waste any time. Let's bring on Walt. Walt of Safety Harbor Firearms. And Walt is doing all sorts of cool gun stuff. He's got a Turcanelli conversion kit right there.
Yeah, for you folks, the Turcanellis and Benellis come with a 5-round magazine because of the U.S. government's sporting restrictions on import stuff. So I am making a full-length 7-shot mag tube.
So is that just you went to Home Depot, picked that up, spray painted black? What's the scoop there?
Kinda. I called my local, contacted my local seamless tubing supplier, 4130 Seamless Tubing, and ordered the tubing, and then we put them in the lathe and cut the threads. And we're also making brand new springs, American-made springs. We're going to make a brand new follower and a brand new mag cap. And from what I've been told, that cures the 922R concerns if you have those concerns.
So is 922R a real thing or not?
It's real, but I don't think anybody's ever been prosecuted on it.
But I guess maybe that's what I was getting at, because I always hear
it's one of those pile-on issues. They're gonna do all, and then that's not what they're gonna get you on. They're gonna get you on the bigger thing.
Right. Right.
I mean, I guess they could if you wanted to really poke them about it, but or if you were purposely importing things that were not correct.
All right, and that's you just said something I want to get at. 922R is not for somebody like me. It's for the guy importing it.
Right. Correct. Yeah. For the most part, yes.
Yeah,
I mean, I know I've known a couple people that they looked at people like FAL and they looked at it and they didn't do anything. But yeah, so we're making these mag tubes, 7-shot mag tubes for the Turkish-made Benelli copies and the real Benellis that'll work on a real one. It's been tried on one already.
Cool.
And we'll have the tubes and springs sooner than later, and then probably a couple weeks on, we're going to have followers and mag caps. So all the Medicon, yeah.
Oh, cool.
So,
cool.
Yeah.
You need 3D printed followers. How do you want them made?
We're going to make them aluminum on the CNC machine. So
yeah.
And I'll probably get them anodized black or something like that, or red or some color like that. So
cool.
And I'm contemplating marking them. It says USA or US or Sten parts or something like that. Because
So you said Sten parts. What is Sten parts versus Safety Harbor?
Well, Sten parts. I started Sten parts in '99, selling Sten receiver blanks. And then I went Sterling ones and CZ 26, 24, PPS 41, PPS 43, Sten trunnions, Sten barrel nuts, Sten barrels. So it's replacement parts for Sten guns. Yeah. That's how it started. Yeah. 1919 side plates. When 1919 kits were $150, $200, $300 for an excellent one, I could not make enough and package them up and ship them out.
Oh wow, that's nuts.
1919 kit is probably working on $1,500, $2,000 sometimes. That's slowed down a little, but I still sell them. People still buy. I make 1/4-inch plates and 3/16 plates, 1/4-inch for semi-autos. But
and those plates, they're CNC'd, or how is that?
Yeah, well, the 80, what we call 80%, or the not finished ones, they're just basically laser cut plates. And then you have to finish the inside machine work. I do have some semi-auto 1/4-inch finish plates that are serial numbered. If anybody's looking for one of those to build their semi-auto 1919, and quite affordably priced compared to what the kit costs. So, but that's on the website if you want. Oh, excuse me, check that out. So,
oh, cool. Now, do you have a plasma table, or what kind of goodies do you got?
I have okay, let's go. The plasma table, and that was purchased primarily for the dirt foot racing part of my life, for making parts and pieces, not so much for production work. Right now, I'm working on a mini bike that's going to require making a new triple clamp or triple tree that holds the forks. And I've got to draw that up, and then we'll cut it out on the plasma table, and then I'll weld it all up, and it'll be beautiful. But but yeah, so that's that I have that. As far as safety over firearms, there's a CNC lathe. There's 4 CNC mills. I've got a big manual lathe. I got a smaller manual lathe. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Parkerizing stuff, that kind of stuff. I still have some of my parts I still have made outside of the shop by other people, other shops. I've always done that. Some of the parts I use on the 50 cals have been made outside since the beginning, for 20 years. Some of them by the same people for 20 years. So
oh, that's cool. That
doesn't feel like it's been that long, but it has been that long.
No, actually, I got your 50 right here.
There you go. The barrel extensions, stuff like that, I've had made out all the time. So, yeah.
Do you do? Oh, I'm looking at my lens. Do you do the muzzle brake in house?
Yes, I've done. Yes, sometimes I'll have the lathe work done. Depending on how busy we are, I'll have the lathe work done by somebody else, and then we'll bring it in and we'll do the mill work, the actual flutes in the muzzle brake. Once again, it depends on what's right now. We're real busy making stocks, so and making mag tubes. The mag tubes is a pretty simple job. So, there he is.
Yeah. I was having a little of a plumbing emergency, but I got it fixed.
Yay! There's water in the Crump house again.
Just I didn't have the stuff to do. I don't care. I don't keep spare plumbing material around.
Not many people do.
It's not like it's just an O-ring or some Teflon tape. You need very specific parts for all the modern plumbing.
120 stem and some O-wings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
my last plumbing repair was. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go Walt.
Jordan. Jordan's in the chat. I haven't forgot about you, Jordan. We'll talk tomorrow about a stock.
Jordan's a very freaking awesome guy, by the way. I got some popcorn today, dude.
So did Dark.
Dude, some popcorn. I saw it yesterday. It said delivery from such and such popcorn is scheduled for delivery for tomorrow. And I was like, it has to be Jordan.
That's very cool.
All righty, guys.
So, Crump, I saved the news for you. You want to tell us what's going on in the news?
No. But that's okay.
Okay.
Dude, I'm gonna try to drive people to. I guess I can tell people. I don't know. I'm still editing.
People already know.
What?
People already know.
Oh, they already know.
Other YouTubers.
Who?
I saw it. I didn't write notes.
Talking about Polymer 80 stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody else told me. I got a text from somebody.
I know you got a text from.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
you got a text from another YouTuber.
Because he got a text from you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah. What else?
Okay. Polymer 80. Their injunction has been stayed. So now there's no way to legally sell.
Wait. Didn't frames and receivers, didn't that get stayed?
What do you mean?
The frame and receiver rule, like a week or two ago, didn't that get stayed?
No, that Vanderstock got stayed, which is 80% Arms, JFD, Defense Distributed, all those guys.
Okay.
Polymer 80 has Polymer 80 versus Garland.
So they now, can I see a freaking calendar on what's legal when? This is the craziest back crap ever.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I don't it's kind of like, oh, drive on the left side of the road, drive on the right side of the road, drive on the left side of the road, drive on the right side of the road. It's like, what time is it?
It's duck season, rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season.
I mean, I did that. I did that as a thumbnail once. I'm just furious with this crap. It's like, you know what? You can't be playing that. You can't. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the person that gave me the information wants to be identified or not. So,
okay,
I'm guessing probably not. So I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I don't know if this is an actual saying. Was it Thomas Jefferson said it's our obligation not to follow laws that are unconstitutional? I'm totally flabbergasted at this. Look, it's legal or not. Boom, be done with it. It's
come on, Rich. That'd be too easy. Come on. What would all these judges and circuit courts and all these lawyers have to do if it was that simple? Come on. But I always joke about it. If I was a judge, get out of here. What are you talking about? Get out of here.
Not all lawyers are evil.
No,
pricks.
I know. I throw them in a
lawyer that is a big fan of yours, Walter.
I sometimes throw them all under the bus, but there's my problem with the legal system is it's too easy to ruin people's lives.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a lawyer there's one lawyer that, I know a few lawyers that are like really pro-gun, but there's one lawyer that's really pro-gun that really likes your products.
Okay, well, he's allowed.
A very, very powerful lawyer at that too.
Okay.
Does he farm chickens?
Yes.
Then I know who it is.
Walter's talked to him before. What's up, Wolverines? What?
Crump, are you editing video while we're doing this? He's on mute because he's editing videos right now. Because he's going to drop his Polymer 80 video.
That's okay.
This video deals with the frame. Always, I will link it down below in the description.
Crump, we hear you.
You hear the video?
Yes. A little bit of it, yeah.
Hold on, let me try this.
He's crumpy tasking.
You hear it now?
No.
Even know it.
Now we do.
Before we get to
yeah, we hear it, Crump.
There was a spot.
They didn't order the ATF to pass a regulation banning 80%.
John, play the video.
All right, whatever, guys. Shut up.
I'm gonna have to touch a gun here just to be to come.
Right. No, not on our channels. You can't do that. Oh, this isn't a gun yet. I mean, can I touch this? It's not a gun yet.
No, that's not a gun. Where's my mag too bad?
So, Walter.
Yes, sir.
Just to let you know, we are doing a competition. It's Dark, Rich, and I. And they're and Rich has a head start too, because we already have a topic and some of the research done. But
that.
Read books, and we're all gonna have them released on June 1st. So I want you to make me a promise right now.
Who, Walt?
Me?
That Walt's not gonna write my book for me?
It is not Matt Larassier. Trust me. Walter, you're not allowed to write Rich's book.
Writing a book? I'm not a book writer. You're safe.
I don't want to have a topic yet.
Oh.
Rich has a topic that got some research done, so I'm not going to have a topic until the middle of December to give them a little bit of head start, since I have a little bit more experience.
Writing a book? I mean,
Rich have had several months head start.
Oh yeah, and I've done nothing. I've actually, there's people I'm interviewing for the book, and so they've said they would give me an interview. So,
Well, you don't have to worry about me, John.
but I've already thought what I'm going to do for my second book.
Dude. Oh, by the way, I got that KES stock. By the way, oh, magnificent.
Magnifico.
I need one.
I just think you'll screw with me because I waited for that stock for months and months and months. Then I go buy another stock. You're like, we have it. What?
So how does you're a mom and pop business, so I'm not trying to throw you under the bus here.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of don't believe I really enjoy PSA, but I don't believe that they have meetings twice a day to figure out what's selling and what they should tool up for. Because you don't turn on a dime that fast. That's a preamble to how do you plan with your CNC machines? What's getting done? The stock that you need to feed the machine, and
just by what people are constantly asking for. They're constantly asking for the HK stuff. I mean, that's so that usually is a good indicator of what's, when we make HK stuff goes out the door. So,
I know. I waited. How many months did I wait for it before I decided that you were never going to have it back in stock and just to go get something else?
Never's a long time. That's
no, it was months though.
Well, it was a time, yes. The problem is, like right now, we made enough stocks, I think, to make 1,000 stocks. Enough pieces. Nice. 800 to 1,000. So that's 2,000 of those little guide rods that run back and forth in the stuff. And those MP5 guide rods have 3 operations to make. At least 3 operations on them.
Yeah,
they're pain in the butt.
It is. It's solid though, man.
But when it's done, they're cool. So
I've used other ones that are like janky. This is rock solid.
Yeah. I mean, I don't usually like to talk about other people's stuff, but most of the stuff out there is janky because if you can cut corners and make it, especially the way it looks, the finish and all that, you'll save a lot of time. And if you instead of having a nice rounded edge, you got a square edge, or that takes time for that machine going back and forth, surfacing that. So,
but yeah, it's phenomenal, man. The thing is so Die Hard when Bruce Willis like hung from the and he had the stock, but it was kind of like the KES. Yeah. I was like, there's no way that would hold, but I think the KES might.
Yeah.
So we got to do the Bruce Willis test on the Safety Harbor Firearms stock.
We're gonna hang off a skyscraper or something like that, or is that?
Well, it was down. It was off an elevator shaft.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
right. I remember the scene now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't recommend that for our customers to try, but
so do we need to pick scenes from our favorite scene from Nakatomi Plaza and reenact it? Is that plausible?
Plausible. Stick to writing a book, okay?
Mythbusters.
Oh, Mythbusters. Okay.
We got a Mythbust Nakatomi Plaza gun myths.
Welcome to the party, pal.
So, Walt, I'm gonna ask you to pause for a second because it's funny. You and I are friends. I've been to your shop a couple of times. I know so little about how things work there, and I'm always very interested. We never get to talk about stuff like that. But there's before we get into that. Okay. This Crack Scout Survival has a very John. We hear you
down below because
John. Are you doing that on purpose? Anyhow, Crack Scout Survival says I'm going to write a book on how to crash a plane and not Trevor Jacob yourself by Flying Rich. Now, Trevor Jacob is the YouTuber that bailed out of, what was it, Lascombe? After he bought it super cheap, swapped the engine for a crappy engine, was carrying his buddy's ashes, and then held a selfie stick.
and try to make it look like it was the same engine, and said,
Yes.
"This video is sponsored by Ridge Roulette."
Yeah. He had like 8 cameras on the plane, and it was all right. Lipscomb lands. I have an acre and a quarter, and if the engine went and I was flying Lipscomb, I would try and land on my property. It's they're bailing out of a Lipscomb because it lands so slow. I probably, if you looked up fatalities with Lipscombs, there's probably like a handful. You got to be incredibly dumb to die like while riding a Lipscomb down after an engine failure. So he's over mountainous terrain. There's within easy glide path. There's a couple of places he could have put down on the side of a stream or a river or field or whatever. They're super survivable. What he did is he had like 8 cameras on his plane. He bailed out, hiked to the plane, pulled all the cameras, came back the next day with a helicopter, picked up the plane, and then crushed it. So technically, the crash was not illegal because, and I don't even think it was reportable because you have to damage more than $250 worth of another person's property, unless the Park Service came after him for damaging trees or something like that. What they got him on was the cover-up. He could have literally said, "I intentionally crashed my plane," for video, and there would have been nothing the ATF could have. The ATF could have pulled his license for some period of time, like 30, 60, 90 days or something like that. But that's about it. There was nothing illegal about him crashing his, like if he crashed his plane in the ocean, it did 0 damage to anybody, or
12,
in the
12 miles out.
Yeah, they're not like anybody's done something stupid in an airplane 12 miles offshore or anything like that.
Not that I know. I wouldn't.
Anyhow,
Yes.
yeah. So that's Trevor Jacobs, and that was the news. But so Walt, going back to your business.
Okay. I haven't trashed an airplane on purpose. So, what?
So all of the equipment there. I mean, you run like an 8-hour shift. I know some places like run 3 8-hour shifts.
No, we don't do any of that stuff. I mean, I let my people one guy, Connor, comes in this morning. He comes in the morning like at 6:30 in the morning, 7, because
oh shoot,
that's when his girlfriend gets up to go to work. So they get up together, and so he's up anyway. So he comes in. Chris that works for me, he might be here at 8 or he might be here at 11, but then he'll stay later. I mean, it depends. We've never done like multiple shifts, trying to work like a slave, like a Chinese shop.
And I'm not trying to get too into your business, but these CNC machines, how much, like, if I think one of the things you compute is like, hey, this machine's $400,000. I got to have it running X hours a day, making X amount of parts for it to pay for itself.
Yeah. You want to have all your machines running because you're making payments on them. But right now, one of my machines is not running because I'm waiting for someone to come in from Herco to actually figure out what its problem was, because it was never quite set up right when it was brand new. Right now, 2 mills are running and one of the lathes are running. So, and there's one that's just, we've got a little issue with it, coolant leaking out the bottom of the, going on the floor. It's peeing on itself, I call it. So I want to kind of clean it out before we turn it back on and see if we can stop that. So yes, my wife would like to have everything running every day, because she is the Minister of Finance. But the reality is sometimes that, if you're watching, Peggy, sometimes that can't happen. So we have had days where all 5 machines are going.
Oh wow!
But it's not usually every day. So but yeah, you'd like to have them all running all the time. And, conceivably, you could run 24/7 if you wanted to have the people here working. But if something breaks down in the middle of the night and that person pushing the button doesn't know how to fix it, they're kind of stuck anyways. So,
So I guess that's the next level of questions. How much can you do yourself on these machines, and how much is it like John Deere?
I'm not. I mean, fixing them, we fixed a lot of stuff. I mean, okay. So if you call in the repair guy, they charge for travel time, they charge hourly rate, and there's charge for parts, and so forth and so on. Lately, I've been using a non-factory repair person, and he's way more affordable. And he came in. I had a problem with one of the machines the other day. He came in, he climbed up. He was on his way going from one job to another, so he stopped in the way, looked, and he says, "You need this, that, and the other, and I'm not going to charge you for it. If you get the part, I'll come back and put it on, and then there'll be a charge for it then."
Wow!
So it was funny. That was the first cooler morning we had here, and the machine decided it didn't want to change tools right. So I messed with it and got up and climbed up on top and took covers off and did all this stuff. And by the end of the day, it was running again. It was warmer, and I'm like, "Oh, you prissy bitch, what is your problem?" And it's ran since. I could go. It's still on right now. I could go put some fresh parts in it, hit the button. Everybody's gone now except for me. But
so I know in aviation for my plane, like a cozy type canard pusher airplane, they put a aluminum prop extension on the crankshaft of a Lycoming engine. And the factory or machine shop, I'm sure it's just a mom and pop thing. The extension is like this big, and it just looks like an H extrusion, like there's a flange in center. And he's like, "Yeah, I got to have to machine it, I got to have it like plus or minus 1 degree Fahrenheit in the building and maintain that temperature. Otherwise, the spec of everything."
When you're doing something that's spinning, and then somebody's life maybe depends on it, you probably want to have a pretty strict regiment. Nothing we do quite is that. I mean, yes, when you're making gun stuff, you don't want things to go badly, but the stocks are pretty. There is some. If you don't do it correctly, it won't work. It won't slide right. It won't fit on the gun right. And with the 50 cal stuff, it's pretty forgiving. In the final, you got to headspace it and all that stuff. So that's the important stuff. But my significant other is she makes a lot of decisions on what we're gonna do and when we're gonna do it based on what people are asking for. So, I'm just I spent my day deburring rods today, which is
glamorous stuff.
It's terribly boring, but it's necessary because without the rods, there's no stocks, and then Grumpy complained he didn't have a stock. So
I keep walking into these interesting times when you're saying like climbing on top of and rods and like, what are we talking about? Machines still?
Hey, anytime you want to come over and climb on top of the Haas, you're more than welcome to screw the Haas, unscrew the Haas, I should say. No, it's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. It's like taking out the garbage. So,
yeah. Sorry, I missed
what Walter's not telling you is his nickname is the Haas.
The Haas.
I was gonna say it, but
Haas. You ever heard of Haas Racing? Haas F1.
I've heard of Dirtfoot.
Haas has an F1 team, and that's the joke is when Haas got their F1 team, that's when the machines started to go down the hill because they spent more.
Oh man! All right, so I don't want to.
Sorry, Rich. Really quickly, I just want to say this.
I'm not good at F1, by the way. They're terrible.
We got 36.
Good for them.
Here. If everyone in chat wants to add an inch to their penis, go subscribe to Dirtfoot Racing right now. You'll have to wait. Usually it takes about 24 hours or so to kick in, but subscribe to Dirtfoot Racing on YouTube and you'll see the magic happen. No more pills, no more pumps.
The only problem is I subscribed on all my different channels. I got a bunch of different channels and a bunch of different accounts.
Oh no! And then your pants were swollen.
Well, no, I
and-
keep on tripping
Oh yeah.
and stepping on it, and that's kind of painful when you step on it,
Very, very painful.
especially when you're wearing cleats. Ugh.
Oh man.
Owie.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
you call that a meat tenderizer?
I already subbed. I was ripped off an inch. That's great.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's lots of. I mean, I don't have enough. There's not enough time in the day to make all the stuff I want to make. So,
Do you manufacture some of your Sten parts?
yes, some of them. I don't make the barrels. Like I was saying before you came on, Dark. There's a part that I've sold through Sten Parts, the trunnions that I've had a shop make locally here. Oh, look at that! This baby face.
Babyface.
And I've had it made at this shop for 20 years. So because they do it right, and they don't have to worry about it. And so
Dang. Yeah. The first part I ever purchased from you before I knew you, your company, or who you were, this was actually years before I even started. Maybe not years, but a while before I started getting into the YouTube thing. I ordered one of the Scorpion Picatinny backplates, and man, that I was just so impressed with the machining, the tolerance, just everything. It was just nice, and honestly, the way it's priced compared to all the other stuff out there.
The Scorpion's one of those. We had a customer come in the other day, and he bought a Scorpion stock, and it was kind of loose on the back. Where it slides on, and the Scorpion's injection molded. It's basically comes out of a mold. So it's a lot like a sheet metal gun, because no two sheet metal guns are exactly the same.
Yeah.
So no two Scorpions are exactly the same. So his was loose. I have one over here in the closet. Brought it out, and you can't slide the stock on it because it's so tight.
I had to use a nylon hammer to get mine on. I mean, just taps, but
yeah, and there's everything from tapping to have to take a file and take a little bit off the back to get it to slide on and pop on.
I kind of preferred it for a solid mount that you want that rigidity on. I preferred having to take a nylon hammer and just kind of tap it in.
That happens a lot of times with the Kev stocks and the HK type guns. The customers, they get their HK. No, HK people are a little, they can be a little prissy.
Yeah.
So the pin won't go through, and I said, well, just give it a
hammer,
a good wrapping, and I don't want to scratch the paint, and it's like you're going to scratch the paint on the, or even if it fits too tight on the back. Like on a full size MP5, it slides over the receiver. So if it slides over that receiver and it's starting to scratch the paint, they get all, and it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? That could have, it could have been Heinrich's day at the factory where he put too much paint on.
Right.
And it's probably automated. Probably a guy doesn't do it, but John's muted.
Crump, if you're talking, you're
Crump is doing the voiceover for his video.
Oh, okay.
No. That's to be expected. You haven't put a note in there, and I hammered my pin in because hey, it's to be expected with especially the different types of different like MP5 clones. They're all going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, it's better you start tight than you start loose. So,
facts.
We had an orthopedic. This is the story. An orthopedic surgeon guy comes in. He's got not an HK, but a
joke. That's why you sent me that joke when I said you asked me how the pins were fit. I said they were tight, but I just hammered it in, and they went in fine once I hammered it in. You're like, congrats, you're an orthopedic surgeon.
You've qualified, yeah. So he had a PTR HK, and the pin wasn't going through very well, and he goes, "You got a mallet? We use them all the time." And I'm like, okay. So I tapped it through, and he goes, "That's good. That's fine."
When I switched the handguards on my AP5, a little different price tag there. On my AP5, the different handguard, it didn't align perfectly, and I had to hammer the pin in. But guess what? It got hammered in, and it. I mean, I'm sure there's probably a little bit of wear on the little thing inside, like the metal piece inside, like. But look, they're tools, you
Now,
know. I get
yeah.
that these guys buy these $3,000 or $45,000 MP5s, and they want to keep them safe, queens, but
Yeah.
they're tools.
There are some instances. We've had some instances where, like, the Turkish guns, the last ones here, the from Century. You can see that it's the pin that's in the receiver is not straight.
Oh,
The
jeez.
hole that it's going through, the hole it's going through, and there's not a whole lot I can do about it. You try 3 or 4 stocks, and they do the same thing. So that person's either got to call it quits on that, or modify something to make it go through. So
Now, do you have the KES in a brace configuration?
Yes and no. Right now, before this whole brace thing started.
Oh, it took the Gearhead Works tail hook,
so you have this. It's made to take the tail hook brace from Gearhead Works, but the rods on the brace stocks were shorter, so they were under that link to pole gizmo garbage that ATF kind of had a guideline for. And so we've got to make more rods that are shorter right now. So that's the little bit of a holdup right now on that stuff. Have anybody tried to buy a tail hook brace from anybody lately? Are there any available?
No, I haven't seen any out and about and available.
Okay, because I haven't talked to Gearhead Works. I got to send them an email and see what the deal is. But I couldn't get them before the whole brace thing happened, or it ended. I couldn't get them from anyways, and then as toward when that all got weird and some of these companies blew out all their inventory for like half price, I should have bought a pile of those tail hooks then, because some people got rid of them for half price.
Crump, you're still muted, bud. Crump, you're muted.
Sorry. I'm done editing. I'm uploading right now, but it's so obvious that that the brace ruling was going to get knocked down. I mean, it wasn't even close. But there's a lot of companies are now PSA was the first one to get back into the market of selling braced pistols. Now that they've returned to it, it seems like that opened the floodgate. It looks like everyone was just waiting till someone to do it.
The first one to do it, yeah.
Yep.
And now that someone did it, now the floodgate's back open and everyone's selling braces again, and Magpul's selling braces.
Do you mean braces individually, or do you mean braced pistols?
Both.
Yeah,
selling the braces, but there's a lot of companies now that relaunched their brace pistol line.
Brace pistols, yeah.
The way I understood it was that braces themselves were never.
No, they were never
illegal, right?
They were just considered stocks.
There was a local shop that literally took down every single one of their braces, and I went there like 2 months before the rule changed, but it was after it was introduced. Well, after they introduced it, but we still had like whatever it was, 2 months or something like that, and they pulled everything off that like next business day. I was like, what the hell? You guys still got to have them in the back. Let me buy one. They're like, nope, it's illegal. I was like, what? It's like, are stocks illegal? And I'll give you a hint. It wasn't this company. It was the other one that's close to them.
Shall not be named.
It was Silver Eagle.
How'd you know?
No, because I corrected them on it.
Yeah.
I went up there. I was like, hey, dude. Like, and they're like, oh, really? Because for some reason, they take my advice.
I tried to tell them. I was sitting there. I was like, so actually, blah, 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 this and that. Like, I went through everything trying to explain it to them. And I wasn't doing it like, actually, like I was just saying, like, if you take a look at it, what it says is this, and, but yeah, whatever.
Actually, Walt, you're an FFL. So now 18, 19, and 20-year-olds can purchase from an FFL.
Florida changed their stuff. So does that whole thing?
The Florida's a law, so that doesn't that won't really affect Walter, because the federal law was challenged, not the Florida law.
Right. Yeah. Right. That's what I mean.
There is a challenge to the Florida law that's waiting for an en banc hearing, and that is in front of the 11th, the full bench of the 11th. A 3-judge panel ruled that it was constitutional based on the ratification date of 1868 of the 14th Amendment, but the 11th Circuit Court said, we're not really sure about that, so we're going to grant an en banc hearing, which means like that 3-judge panel never happened. In fact, in the West Virginia case, which is referring to, the government filed what's called a brief of supplemental authority, and they cited the 3-judge panel. And when it was granted en banc, that 3-judge panel decision is gone. It's like it's never happened. It's a do-over, basically. Ooh. And the federal government never updated their brief of supplemental authority or withdrew the brief of supplemental authority. And the judge kind of got pissed off at them because they're like, why did you not update it or withdraw it? Because this means nothing anymore.
Wow.
So there you go. I'm a little bit read in on legal stuff, just a tad.
That's all right. I'm glad you are, because
I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't affect us here in FL at the moment. So,
but it could. It probably
will.
Well,
it's all working toward that big. Yeah. I mean, I understand how the whole system works. Every one of these wins, every one of these things going our way, all builds towards the final.
The final count.
So, John, just so I know, 18 to 20-year-olds can or can't buy from an FFL.
Federally, there's no law. Federally, it was knocked down, and the judge decided to go ahead and not issue the stay, because the government was like, well, if you're going to rule against us, you need to stay until we can appeal, and or give us some time so we can file an appeal and ask for an emergency stay from the circuit court. And the judge said no.
Wow.
I love that. It's so rare to find somebody who just says yet no.
Yep. No, you've given me no reason that that I should do this.
It took me a long time to realize, like, especially in like leadership and things like that no is a complete sentence. I used to be the guy that was like, well, unfortunately not, because if you weigh this and that towards that, like, and later on it's just like, no
period.
Any other questions?
No, well, he said no, this does not rise to the level. He basically said it was so open and shut that he can't fathom giving them a stay until they could appeal.
Wow.
Or even administrative stay, because he could have done like a 14-day administrative stay.
Sure. Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, no. But the thing is, now you got to get an FFL, and FFLs, I mean, they're not. Most people aren't aren't well versed in legalese and what's going on in cases.
Who?
Most people.
You're going home? Okay.
Oh, most people. Yeah.
I'm talking to my significant other. See you at home.
So honestly, I think you're going to be hard pressed to find a FFL that's going to let you buy it.
Yeah, and I think there are, like, doesn't Virginia have a state law saying you have to be 21 to purchase a pistol and an FFL?
No.
And then 18. No, they do not.
No, they do not. In fact, that there's no Virginia law like that. In fact, that's the reason why 18 to 20-year-olds in Virginia are exempt from the universal background checks in Virginia.
That's right. Yeah.
Because in Virginia, it's written into the Constitution that the Virginia Constitution that 18-year-olds are allowed to have handguns.
Yeah.
So unless you're going to change the Virginia Constitution, there's not going to be a law like that.
The Florida Constitution, they change as the wind blows.
I hate that. Oh man, that pisses me off so bad. They put it on a ballot. Put this crap on a ballot, and you get these lame brains that, I think you should have a 3-day wait. Let's make it so the counties can have a 3-day wait. And it's
don't you guys have a wait now or no?
Well, if you're a CCW, no.
They gave it to the counties to make that decision. They gave it back to the counties. So Pinellas County, where I live, yes, there's a 3-day wait. If you go to Pasco County, the north of me, I don't think there's a 3-day wait.
That's crazy.
And what is it in Gainesville, whatever county that is? There is a wait or something.
Yeah, but if you have your permit, it doesn't apply.
Yeah, well, if you have a concealed weapons permit, there's no background check. Well, hang on, excuse me. There's no wait, but they still have to make a call.
Right.
Yeah.
So
one of the things is I do have a extraordinary group of friends that happen to be lawyers.
Yes, but he doesn't party with them. You think Crump
actually I have.
Yeah, but partying with them, it makes it sound like
I went to a lawyer party out in Texas. It was those dudes like to get down. You know who Eric Friday is?
I've heard the name.
Walter, you probably should know him. Chief Legal Counsel of Florida Carry.
It's familiar. I don't know him, but yeah.
He had a party in Texas during Gun Rates Policy Conference a couple of years ago. It was just like me and like all the 2A lawyers from around the country. It was really weird.
Oh.
Zippy the Strange says, democracy, the quickest way to wear the most fashionable chains.
No, I wanna answer a couple things here really quick. JK2A is going to be on the podcast. If you haven't checked that dude out, his fucking shirts are phenomenal. He like highlights people with Glock switches and stuff.
Okay, cool. I'm not hip.
Yeah, he's really funny. I went into his live stream coming games, and he was like, "Oh my god, it's John Crump." I was like, "What? You know me?" So I thought he's gonna be on the podcast, and I have seen the trailer for GTA 6. It looks badass.
Florida Man Simulator. That's hilarious. That's what everyone's calling it.
2025 though, which is kind of.
I know. I was so blown. Like when they dropped that, I was like, no. I bet partying with Keltec lawyers would be interesting. Yeah. Not only do well, never mind. I won't say that. Never mind. Keltec. I love Keltec. I do, genuinely. I think they're great. I think they're innovative. I think they also prematurely discharged their firearms at IV-88 on the firing line.
Oh, you didn't say that.
I did. Did I say that?
I heard about it.
The dude that did it, even though he did it, he's a hell of a Chad.
Oh.
No, it was an actual functional, like a mechanical malfunction. It was not his fault. It was unsafe. Finger off the trigger. The gun went off, which is a reminder to all of us. Your gun is always loaded. Your gun is always there's no excuse. Your gun is always loaded.
Oh, I got a barrel.
Yeah, Dark, you would love JKL 2A. You would love that one on your show too.
I'll check it out. You know who's coming back on my show? I'll give you a hint. They're into
Ring Gun Builder?
They're into classic firearms.
Oh, Clint?
Clint's coming back on. Clint wanted to come back on.
Dude, Clint's my boy, man.
He's a good dude.
He's a very good dude.
Can we get him on our show before Dark gets him on his show?
We went ice skating in Georgetown holding hands.
That's right. I remember that. It was adorable.
And we tried to still penguin some little kids.
Oh man, that's weird. So, well, just out of curiosity,
yes.
What's the best way that like we could help your business, like sending people to Sten parts or sending people to your accessories or firearms or SHTF 50s?
And can I just make something a comment about the HS like the Safety Harbor Firearms 50, which is behind Rich?
Sure.
It will not put a hole in your neck.
That's true.
There'd just be no neck.
You will not have to put a thumb in it.
You won't have to put a thumb in your neck.
Oh,
Yeah.
uh,
Those guns don't blow up unless you blow them. Never mind.
up on
Never mind.
purpose.
Oh shit! Thank you for saying that because I stopped myself. I was like,
Yeah,
"Whoa."
well, that goes for another story for another day. Hmm.
So yes, how could we?
Let's not tarnish this mood we have going.
Yes. So how could we best help your business? Is it, all the guys in chat, going to Stin Parts or the SHTF 50? Or like, what's the best way for us to help your business?
I mean, you can check them all out. I mean, for example, you missed it earlier. Here, I have my new magazine tube for the Turk Nellies and Benellis.
Ooh, nice.
7-shot magazine tube.
Nice.
And is that just threaded in?
Yeah, well, what it does is it just replaces the jump that the government makes them put on when they import it. So it's 5 shots. So now you have a full-length 7-shot tube.
So I've never replaced a magazine tube on a shotgun. Is it like threaded in? And
it's easy, most on Mossbergs and Benellis it threads in. On a Remington, it's soldered in, so you can't do that. But
so I'm a Remington guy. That's probably why. I've added extensions, but I've never replaced.
Yeah, it's silver soldered into the receiver on a Remington.
Yeah, because my Mossberg, I replaced the magazine tube with one that holds more.
Yeah, I mean sometimes they're Loctited in, and it takes a good amount of force to get it out.
Mm-hmm.
But the Turkish gun wasn't real super tight. But I had a Benelli here of someone else that goes by Babyface, and I have his Benelli, and I made a tube for it, and that was Loctited in. I had to put the mag tube, the old mag tube in the lathe and the chuck of the lathe and kind of twist on it.
Oh wow!
It finally popped loose.
Pop right out.
Yeah, I've had Mossberg's tight, and I've had Mossberg's finger tight. So
the one I did, I didn't have to do anything. I could just
unscrew it right out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are going to be available soon. What we're going to do is we're going to have a tube, spring, follower, and mag cap. If you're worried about 922R. If you're not worried about 922R, you can just get the mag tube and just be happy. But
dude, no one has ever been prosecuted for violating 922R.
That's the conversation me and Rich had. Yeah, it's
not
a pylon
person.
I also think so. Here's another thing. So it's specifically geared towards importation. So does that mean that they need to remain in compliance after importation, or is that only to fulfill the requirements of importation itself?
Probably just you wouldn't get. I guarantee you wouldn't get a straight answer from any one of those folks.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely not. They know better.
It depends what day it is and what time of the day it is and all that good crap. So.
I could picture if I ever. I think I got like a mosquito bite or something. Sorry. If I ever got in trouble for anything, it would be like breaking news: YouTuber DLD After Dark arrested for 17 and a half counts of 922R
for having the wrong magazine tube on his shotgun.
Yeah, he had the wrong U.S. parts. I just can't imagine I always feel like the ATF is going to come after me for selling the jigs and stuff that say F the ATF on it. Because, I imagine they don't like that. And I imagine they've ordered from me before, if I were to guess. So I always, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, they may come after me for, something like that. Oh, but I'm sorry. I'm totally taking this off. So you have this new product. That's awesome.
Yes. So that's going to be hitting the website. It's not on the website yet, but it will be relatively soon. And eventually we'll have all 4 parts. When I was at a Rock Veteran, I spoke to I forget the name of the importer that was there that brings those shotguns in. And he said, if you have the tube, the spring, the follower, and the cap, then you're 922R compliant.
Nice.
If you're worried about that.
Nice. I wouldn't be. By the way, Walter, I got a question for you. This is not a gun-related question, but it's a question that needs to be answered. Are you familiar with Conor McGregor?
Yes.
You know he's going to run for president of Ireland.
Hey, why not?
He's running on immigration.
Imagine that.
Hey, I got to take this. I'll be right back.
Right. Of course. There we go.
Where does he
Alright.
get the old timey phone from?
It's a ringtone, Rich.
No, I think that was a real phone. It sounded like a real phone.
No, it's a ringtone. Jesus. There's such stuff called ringtones.
What?
Ringtone.
Not familiar.
Not familiar with your work. All right, Walter, man. Thank you for
Yes.
coming on. It's always a blast to have you on. Sorry I was a little bit late today, but I had water like spraying out against the wall.
Yeah, you gotta hold the presses when the it's going all
Yeah, I
over
called
the
Rich
place.
when I was on my way to like Home Depot to pop buy this stuff to fix it, but it's fixed now, so yay.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank
No
God
problem.
for YouTube.
Anytime. Oh, one before we go, any inside info on the house boom in Virginia?
Apparently the dude had a YouTube channel. I just found out about that. I haven't looked it up yet. The house boom. My niece actually lives like a block away from the dude, and like crap got knocked off our walls.
I bet. Yeah, that was a serious boom.
Yeah,
But to me, it looks like it kind of looked like a natural gas thing.
Yeah,
or maybe
that's
some.
That's
but
what I
then
said.
Chris that works for me said he saw those stuff flying through the air, and he goes, "That looks like aluminum, in the air." And it's like, I don't know,
Nah, I mean, I've seen a natural gas explosion was a firefighter, and it looked a lot like a natural gas explosion. I think
that was a house run,
think
of
it was
course.
an accident. I think.
Oh, so you're saying it wasn't a rapid unscheduled disassembly? You're saying it was a rapid scheduled disassembly?
Yeah, but I think it was natural gas used it. Apparently, the dude shot off 30 to 40 flares out of a 37 millimeter flare launcher earlier on.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. Yeah,
so who knows? He also fired on cops. He was on LinkedIn of all places, talking about how he was being spied on and how he had how they had secret cameras installed in his house. So,
oh dear, yeah.
It looks like he broke down, and before he blew up, he was in the comments of his YouTube videos, which are probably down. Yeah, Johnny Barr thinks it's a chemical explosion. I don't think it was. I think it was natural gas. I think he flooded his house with natural gas
and did a flare.
Dude, is this guy? What is it? We got to. Well, he's gone now, I assume. But
no,
I'm wondering if he saw the Killdozer movie.
I think he just lost it, man.
I think the words to the song goes, "Paranoia will destroy you." Paranoia will.
Yes.
Yeah, but apparently my niece was like, I saw flares going up in the air all day. I had no idea what it was, but it didn't really bother me. So. But yeah, it's like she heard the boom, it shook the house and everything else.
I bet. Oh, fuck. There's last week I saw a picture on the internet of a house in Edinburgh, Scotland that went off with a natural gas explosion, and then nothing left of the house, like one of these row houses, and it blew the row house right out of the row. So, yeah.
So I wanted to comment on this last night, but go.
I want to address this. We actually. It looked like the natural gas explosion I saw. So what we did is we compared it last night after we got off our podcast to other natural gas explosions and other chemical explosions. And almost every natural gas explosion we saw, it looked very, very similar. And Rich can attest to that. Dark can attest to that.
Okay.
It was
so
identical.
I'm trying to think what year this was, but so this is going back probably 20 years. I think it was my first day of work at Cornell Medical Center in Manhattan. Some doctor in a divorce was going to have to give this building to his wife. He canceled the insurance on this Manhattan building and did it up with gas. He blew the frickin' building. It was just a pile of brick.
Well, I'm not going to name the person, but there was somebody in the gun industry who blew their house up. And after they were having issues with their wife, and they did it. They set their house on fire. They killed themselves, set the house on fire, and they did it to leave their wife and kids with nothing.
Whoa! Wow!
And it was a friend of mine, but now I think he's scum because of what he did.
Well, on that note, I ain't blowing nothing up. I like all my limbs.
Yep. Yeah, I think the if I recall, I think that doctor self-deleted. So
Yeah.
Self-deleting, stupid.
Self-deleted.
won the room temperature challenge.
If you're an adult and you kill yourself, I have no respect for you. Now, if you're a kid, that's different because kids aren't. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah.
But if you're an adult with family and you kill yourself, I have no respect.
Yeah, just screwing everybody else.
Yeah, but if you're a kid, that's different because
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys.
it's one of the things.
The
Alrighty.
doctor's calling me. It needs to go out.
So follow Flying Rich at Flying Rich. We will not have a show tomorrow. Sorry, Rich.
Oh, okay. Thank
I
you,
got
Grumpy.
scouts. And
You have gout? I'm sorry.
Scouts. Flying Rich,
Gout.
Flying Rich Firearms. Also head over to John Crump News after this because I am going to do my video, which is going to be published the second weekend.
Right.
Hold on. I have to. What I need to do is I need to set this up to
Redirect. So we need to talk for a few seconds longer while you set up the redirect from this channel to your news
Walter,
channel.
tell everyone where they can find you and what they can buy from you. And
okay. Well, you can find me at Safety Hour Firearms on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Dirtfoot Racing, the mini bike stuff, the same. I just put up a short today. I got a brake disc for a build I'm working on. I was so happy. I got the big swing. What you can buy from me, you can buy everything. Go to Stunt Parts, buy a hoodie, buy some parts. You can go to Safety Hour Firearms, buy a stock, buy a 2-stock, buy stocks for your friends, buy stocks for everyone. Yeah, so that's where you can find me. Stunt Parts is just Stunt Parts. You know where it is. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, and with that, just give me a second here. I'm setting up the redirect. If you want to be redirected,
and Crumpy is available for plumbing jobs, small and large, in the Northern Virginia area. He now has the Crumpy Plumbing van.
Natural gas house cleaning.
Scott Peterson, send me your address on Instagram. I'll get you one out. All right, guys, that's it, and we'll see you guys on Thursday.